Hi Grace, this is Jamie. This video is going to be about plotting the polar coordinates on a polar coordinate plane. Okay, so I think the best way to show it is just doing examples. As you can see, I've gone ahead and I've numbered even the negative angles, and you may want to do that. It saves a lot of headache and time whenever you're going ahead and plotting things and answering some of these questions. So yeah, just before you even start, like I would at least number all of the negative ones. So like negative 15 degrees, negative 30, and all the way to negative 2 pi or negative 360. And that just makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, so let's get started. So whenever you're plotting polar coordinates, it's kind of backwards from what we're used to. Instead of looking at x first and then y, we want to look at the angle first and then the length. So let's look at the first one for an example. Okay. Where did my thing go? Okay. Ugh, it's hard to grip things when my fingers are numb. Okay, so this first one, A, we want angle 120. So we're always going to be starting right here at 0. Green is our start, and then we are going to go positive 120 degrees. So that is right here. You can see this is 120. So I know that our point is going to be somewhere along this line, along that 120 degrees. And then positive 10 just means I'm going to go 10 units that way, along that line. So let me just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is point A. Alright, so same concept, point B, negative 90 degrees. Okay, so again, starting at 0, but because it's negative, we're going downward. So I'm going to be reading from these red numbers. So negative 90, instead of going positive, I'm going negative. So negative 90 degrees is down here. So I know that, my point is going to be somewhere along this line. Okay, and so we want 4 units towards the point that we were, or the line that we were moving towards. Even though it's down, it's kind of like whenever you're finding the angle, it's kind of like you're rotating your coordinate plane. How do you see it? So like whenever you rotate it negative 90 degrees, well, this is your new coordinate plane if you want to think of it that way. So if you get confused on which direction is positive, this is y and this is x, your new x. So positive would be going in this direction. And in this case, it is 4 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is B. Okay. Actually, let me make these lines darker. It's hard to see. And you may want to also make your lines darker on your grid, because sometimes it's just, printers kind of suck sometimes, so it's good to be able to clearly see your reference lines. So I'm just going to darken these 90 degrees areas so that we can clearly see, okay, which way is up, which one's down. Okay, so we found A and B, so now angle C. Okay, so angle, we start 0, and the angle is 0, so don't move. And then we going in this direction, a positive 3. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. And that is C. Okay, let me just do that so that we can keep track. Okay, so angle D, or point D, sorry. All right, this one is also interesting. So our angle is 120, so we're going to start here, and then So we are here again at 120, but it seems like our length is 0, like, so we don't go anywhere from the origin, just 0 right here, so we don't move. So this is D. Okay, and then E, negative 210. Okay, so we're gonna start here at 0. And then we're going to go negative, so we're going downwards. Rotating this way, reading the red numbers. Negative 120. Oh, sorry, negative 210. Negative 210 going that way. It is actually right here. So there's our negative 210. It'll be useful to have a straight edge as well. It's kind of hard to see, especially as they converge towards the center. So I know that our point is going to be somewhere on this line. This way is positive since this was our moving line. It's going that way. Where are we? And then we have to go 8 that way. So 210. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is angle E, or I keep saying angle, point E. There we go. The next one, F. Angle is 150. So we'll start here, and then we're gonna go open it up all the way to 150 is right here. So then we know that our line, or sorry, our point is gonna be somewhere along this line. And negative 6, so instead of going positive 6 this way, we're going to go negative 6, so going opposite of whatever angle we were looking at, so negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is point F. G is angle 165. So it's around that same area, angle 165, just 15 more degrees to the left. And then it looks like there's another negative, so again, instead of going towards the direction of the angle that you were looking at, you're going the opposite because it's a negative. So I'm gonna get my straight edge. It's like you have to have a good eye for these things. 165, so then instead of going this way 7, I go this way 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that is point G. Okay, so this next one, 400 degrees. Oh wow, that's more than one rotation. So what that actually is just a positive 400 is going all the way around 360 and then a little more. So 360 to 400 would be an additional 40 degrees up. So halfway there. So I'm gonna have to eyeball it. I know it's somewhere along this line. Wow, your teacher's mean. So this is where that 400 is. Went all the way around and then a little bit more. And then we want to go towards that way 5 units. Between 30 and 40, or 30 and 45. Actually, no, it's not halfway. What am I thinking? Okay, so it's just, I wonder how accurate she wants to be. Okay, so it's closer this way. So, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is H. And we're done with that section. Now we move to fun radians. Okay, and I'm going to scan and send these to you so you can see it. Okay, so for radians, I did the same thing with this plot where I plotted it, and I added arrows to help, like, understand which direction each of them is going, so all the negative radians going down negative pi over 12, negative pi over 6, negative pi over 4, all the way to negative 2 pi. Okay, so again, look at the angle first. So pi over 3, that's 60 degrees, I believe. So we start here and we go up 60 degrees, or pi over 3. Boop. Right there. It's pi over 3. And then we go 5 units towards whatever this moving line was. So going this way. So that is a 5 units that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is point I. We got that. Okay, so the next one is negative pi over 3. So that's going down 60 degrees. So opposite way, going down negative 60 degrees, or negative pi over 3 right here. You see that? Negative pi over 3. And then it says to go 2 units towards this angle, because it's a positive. So 2 units. 1, 2. And that is J. Negative. Hang on, just checking. Okay. Then the next one, pi over 3 again, so 60 degrees. So I already know it's along this line, kind of like what we already did for point I. So 60 degrees, or pi over 3, and then negative 6. So instead of going towards pi over 3, I'm going to go the opposite 6 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's K. Okay? L, pi over 2, that is 90 degrees. So we went whoop, whoop, right there, 90 degrees. And towards that angle, I go 2 units up. So 1, 2, and that is L. This next one is M. It says negative pi, so that's a negative 180 degrees. So again, starting here and then going all the way around, because it's all the way over here. Negative pi is kind of the same place as pi, which works out. And then we go 4 units positive towards this angle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was letter M, I believe, yes. Okay. The next one, negative 5 pi over 8. So negative again. So we're starting here. Negative 5 pi over 8. So we're going down wherever 5 pi over 8 is. Can't quite remember from radians. 5 pi over 8, where are you? Okay, so what I did to figure this out, your teacher's so mean. Okay, I just converted this to degrees. So you do that. From converting radians to degrees is you multiply by 180 divided by pi. And so this 5 pi over 8 in degrees is actually 112.5 degrees, which is exactly halfway between 105 degrees and 120 degrees, or 7 pi over 12 and 2 pi over 3. So that is actually right here. 7 pi, where's it? 7 pi over 12, 2 pi over 3. So halfway in between there is exactly the line where our point is at. Okay, and so we have to go 7 units positive towards that angle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is N. Okay, hopefully the other angles are nice. Okay, so this one angle, Oh, wait, you know what? I messed up. This is a negative 5 pi over 8. Okay, so this is not n. So then that would mean that it is between, there we go, changing these all to negatives. Okay, so that means it is halfway in between negative 7 pi over 12 and negative 2 pi over 3, which is right here. So halfway. Oh my goodness. So here's the line, and this is the angle that we were looking at, which was halfway there, and then we have to go 7 units that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is n. See how easy it is to mess up? Okay. So O, negative 11 pi over 12. So negative, again, we rotate this down, clockwise, I mean. So negative 11 over 12. Aye. Right there. There's negative 11 over 12. Get a straight edge. There's our angle. And we have to go the opposite 10 units. So not this way, but that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is O. Okay. P, point P is, the angle is 4 pi over 3. So a positive 4 pi over 3. Positive 4 pi over 3. So I'm going to look at the black ones. Positive 4 pi over 3. Did I pass it yet? 4 pi over 3. Oh, here it is. Down there. 4 pi over 3. Right there. So I'm going to take my straight edge, line it up. 4 pi over 3. And then we have to go the opposite 9 units, because it says negative 9. So instead of going this way 9, I'm going to go this way 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and that is P. Alright, I'm going to run through these a little quicker. I think I'm not going to use these things. It's kind of hard when it's not face-to-face because I don't really know what's working and what's not. So maybe next time we could do a video chat whenever we both have time. Okay, so point A, 30 degrees. So positive 30 degrees that way, and then 10 units towards that 30 degrees. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is point A. Point B is 220 degrees, so that is positive 220 degrees is over 180, 220, somewhere over here. It is about 2/3 of the way here because 210, 215, 220, 225. So let me just check. Yeah, it is a positive 220. Going to divide that by 3. Okay. And then it says to go not that way 5, but this way 5. 1, 2, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is point B. C is negative 135, so I'm going to go down this way, 135. So looking at all of my angles, 135 is right here. And then I'm going to go 6 units towards that 135. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's see. D, negative 270. So starting here all the way to 270 is right here. And then instead of going towards here 7 units, because it's a negative, I'm going to go down here 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is point D. And feel free to stop and slow down this video. Okay, so this next one is 185 degrees. So this doesn't look like it would be on here. So 185 degrees is a third of the way between 180 and 195. So I'm going to split this in 3. Trying to eyeball it a little bit. Okay, and then 8 positive units towards that 185 degrees. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is point E. Point F is negative 310, so going this way, down. Negative 310 is all the way around and around. 310 is 2/3 of the way between 300 and 315. So again, I'm going to split it in 3. 1, 2, 3. And line it up. I wonder how your teacher's going to grade this remotely. That's hard. Okay. So that was, yeah, negative 310. And then instead of going towards negative 310 4 units, because it's a negative 4, I'm going to go 4 units the opposite way. And that is point F. The last point is negative 200 degrees. So again, going down, negative 200 degrees. I'm looking at the red. Negative 200 degrees is, again, somewhere between here. So it split it. It looks like, again, we split it in thirds. It's the first third between negative 195 and negative 210. So I'm going to split it here. Negative 195, so this should be over here is negative 200. So instead of going 2 units this way, this is a negative 2, so I'm going to go 2 units the opposite way. I hope this is making sense. Yeah, it's the red. The red says negative 200, then negative 2. Okay, and then this is G. Okay, and there's that page. Yay, radians! Okay, this makes me remember how much I did not like radians. Okay, so H, positive pi over 6 or 30 degrees. Positive pi over 6 is here, and I want to go 4 units, 4 positive units towards that angle. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is H. Next one is a negative 3 pi over 2, so I'm going to go down 3 pi over 2. Oh, that's negative 270. So again, looking at the reds, all the way over here is negative 3 pi over 2, and so it says go 8 units the opposite of this. So instead of going up 8, I'm going to go down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is I. J. Oh, sorry. I. J is negative pi. So negative, so going down negative pi. And then it says to go towards that negative pi 5 units. So that would be considered positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is so hard to write when 2 of your fingers are numb. I took my fingers for granted. Okay, So this one, negative pi over 2, which is negative 90 degrees. So going down because it's a negative, and looking at the red, here's negative pi over 2. And it says to go 0. So just right at the center. And that is K. K. Okay. This next one, L, is negative 19 pi over 12. So again, going down because it's a negative angle, negative 19 pi over negative 19 pi over 12, please be there. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So at least your teacher seems to be being nice with us on having like even ones on radians. Okay. So negative 19 pi over 12. And we have to go the opposite 3 units. So not this way, but opposite. 1, 2, 3. L. M, negative 11 pi over 2. So same thing. Going down here. Negative 11 pi over 2. Find it right here. Awesome. And then let's line that up, find that line. Okay, and then from there, going the opposite direction, 6 units. So instead of going here 6 units, I'm going to go this way 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is M. One more. Negative 4 pi over 3. Oops. Oh no, I'm sorry, Garfiki. Dropped him. I'm sorry. Okay, you're fine. So negative 4 pi over 3. So going down again, negative 4 pi over 3. Can we find it? Right here. So I'm going to line it up. And then we have to go a positive 10. So yeah, we go towards the negative 4 pi over 3, 10 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that is N. Okay, so for this next section, we are to find 3 other coordinates given a point that are exactly the same as that given one. And it just goes to show how fun polar coordinates are, because you can have more than one answer. So how fun. Okay, so this first one is 3, 5 pi over 6. So again, we find our angle. Where did my straight edge go? Oh, here it is. So 5 pi over 6. So let's see, positive 5 pi over 6. Where are you? Right here. 5 pi over 6, so I know that my point is along this line. And then 3 units towards there. So I'm just going to plot this here. This is 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I know that this is number 1. So we need to find 3 other points that are exactly that in that same position. So instead of going a positive 5 pi over 6, we could have, like an insane person, go the opposite. So that would be right here, that negative 7 pi over 6. So I can just go ahead and say, okay, this new angle is negative 7 pi over 6. And then we would still be going in this direction, not a positive 1, positive 3, because that's 3 units, 1, 2, 3. So that and that point are exactly in the same position. Okay, so we need to find 2 more. Okay, so with these, the pattern is that there's going to be 2 positive R's and 2 negative R's. So let me just go ahead and do that right here. And that's just a pattern that you'll find. So that means that we're going to have to find the opposite angle of this, 180 degrees this way. Okay, yeah, right here, this one. So we could have gone negative pi over 6 degrees. And then instead of going a positive 3, it would be a negative 3, hence the negative 3 here. And then using kind of that same logic, instead of just going straight here, you could, like a crazy person, go around all the way around. Hey, more power to you. Okay, so that would be 11 pi over 6. And that's, since we went counterclockwise, that is a positive 11 pi over 6. 11 pi over 6. And then instead of going 3 units that way, we went 3 units this way, which is a negative 3. So those are our 3 points for that one. Okay, so next, number 2, negative pi over 3. So again, going down, negative pi over 3, right here. That's a negative pi over 3. Okay, you line that up. And then we want to go, is it negative 1? So not this direction of negative pi over 3, but the opposite. So then this is our point number 2. Okay. So now we have to find other points that are exactly the same as that. So I'm kind of going to go the same pattern. Let's have our 2 negatives and then 2 positives, and we'll just set it up like that. Okay. So this one, what had happened was, oh wait, sorry, this is number 2. So in this example, it gave us it was negative pi over 3, but we could have also gone the opposite way and gone 5 pi over 3, and then do another negative 1. So this one would be 5 pi over 3. Because we went around, that's 5 pi over 3, but instead of going this way 1, we go that way 1, hence that negative 1. Okay, so now the positives. So that means we have to find this angle right here, and we already have it. See how helpful it is to write it down ahead of time? Okay, so, let's see, so